Welcome to the iMSA webinar. We're going to get started here in a few minutes. Just want to give folks time to get logged in. And while you're waiting for the webinar to begin, you can scan the code that's on the screen to connect with our team if you have questions. And again, we're just going to wait here for about a minute, a little bit less than a minute before we get started. As you are coming in, again, welcome. Thank you for attending the iMSA webinar. We will get started here shortly. If you do have questions, you can scan the QR code, which is on the screen, to connect with our team if you have any questions. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome. My name is Marcus Phillips, one of the associate directors for Gies graduate programs. I want to welcome you to the Gies Online Masters in Accounting iMSA webinar. We are glad that you are here. And like I mentioned before, if you do have questions, you can scan the QR code that's on the screen to connect with our team with any questions. And so the first question, actually, we just love to see where people are chiming in from. So if you want to join on the website, poev.com/Gies online, or if you want to just go ahead and scan that QR code, you can just let us know where you're chiming in from. I'm based in Normal, Illinois, which is central Illinois, surrounded by a lot of corn. I'm about 45 minutes northwest of Champaign, Urbana, where our actually campus is located. And we'll talk a little bit about this during the presentation, but we have, in all of our online programs, we have over 100 countries represented. So we do have a global network. We have Nashville, Tennessee representing. That is awesome. I love Nashville. I love the food. I love the people. So we had several people chiming in from the U.S. Today during our webinar. So that's good. Look like we have a couple of people in the Midwest, South, West. I see someone in the Pacific Northwest, which is great. Great to see. And again, you'll hear about our global community here at Gies Online, and we love that we have a global community where students from all over the world can connect with each other. So that just enriches the learning environment. And let me see, Baltimore is represented, St. Louis, St. George, Utah. Awesome. Great. So we have a nice range of people here today. Well, let's go over the agenda. So we have a lot to talk about. It'll take about 45 minutes. Then we have another presentation at 5 o'clock from one of my colleagues. We'll kind of discuss the iMSM program. Then at 6 o'clock, we had the IMBA program. Another colleague will present during that webinar. But today, we're going to just kind of do I did my little welcome and introduction. And then hopefully we may have a student joining us, iMSA student joining us. That'd be great. So you all can get to hear from that current student about their experience. We're going to touch a little bit on University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, plus the Gies College of Business. We're going to talk about the Gies Business online programs and a program overview at iMSA. And then we're going to touch a little bit on the curriculum and content. And then towards the end, I'll talk a little bit about application tips and tricks. And then hopefully we'll have time for Q&A. And so again, we have a lot to cover. Minneapolis, I see you here in the house as well. I love the Twin Cities areas. Great place for our family when we visit the Twin Cities, so we enjoy that area as well. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to see, actually, Anita, if you're online, to our current student. So hopefully she'll be joining us throughout the presentation. And again, my name is Marcus Phillips, Associate Director, Gies Graduate Programs. So I'm part of the admissions recruitment team. My primary role is business development. So I work with corporations to develop relationships, partnerships to bring in learners into our programs. I really enjoy my job. I love just interacting and engaging with awesome learners, again, throughout the world. And so I really enjoy working for Gies, particularly Gies Online program. So I meet some awesome people every single day. So I really enjoy my job. And so the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign definitely has a strong reputation amongst its peers actually in the public view as well. A big part of the reason why I love working at UIUC is it's a land grant institution. And so our primary role is really providing access, which is, a big part of our online programs. As you can see, we have a lot of, great rankings that are on the screen or what have you. But again, it's just a place where, you can just innovate. A lot of innovation happens here at the UIC. Again, has a strong reputation throughout the world, and they actually have a very large alumni base as well. And then, so the Gies College of Business has a strong reputation in the business world as well. Our accounting faculty are highly sought after, very strong faculty, are quite often asked to, be present on media in regards to, current market conditions that may be affecting the accounting industry and so forth. Our school was the number one business school of innovation of the decade. And so Jeff Brown, who actually is on that screen, our outgoing dean, was the dean of the year. And so he led a lot of that innovation. And so again, you hear about this in our curriculum a little bit, but it's a business school where we really try to make sure that we are staying ahead of the curve when it comes to our academic offerings and making sure that our content is relevant, right? So we want to make sure you're learning what you need to learn to be able to apply that in your current jobs or what have you. So there's a lot of great things that are happening within our College of Business, and so we're very proud. And again, we have a strong business alumni as well, 79,000 plus alumni. So there's a great network of people that you can connect with throughout. So the meeting will be recorded. I just saw the question in the chat. So yeah, so we'll send this out probably about a day or two after the presentation. So great question. So quick question for you all. What has been holding you back from pursuing graduate education, just in general? I remember I was in this process and going through the program, and I had kids. I was worried about time, how much it costs. I did a master's of higher education program online. I was worried about, it's online education. Is it worth it? Am I going to learn anything? Is there a sense of community? Am I going to be on this island? So there's a lot of questions that revolve around online education, and so costs typically is probably the most frequent concern, which I totally understand because that is something that we all are concerned about. Is definitely cost and the commitment, and we'll talk a little bit about. We'll cover all these aspects throughout the program, throughout the presentation. And so, but just wanted to kind of get an idea of what is kind of, keeping you back from pursuing graduate education. So thank you for answering that question. So we do have three pillars for Gies Business online programs. The biggest piece is the flexibility of our programs, right? And so our programs, and you hear a little bit more about this in the presentation, is really for the working professional. And so we understand that there may be other obligations. You may have a full-time job, you may have a family or what have you, or caretaker or some other dependents or what have you. And so we try to create our programs, obviously to be rigorous, but at the same time to have some flexibility in there as well. We do have a stackable option, which I think is a great innovation with our programs. Stackability, and I'll touch on this here shortly, helps you to save money as well as time. And then it's online by design. And so we started with our iMBA program in 2016 prior to the pandemic, right? And so we suspended our residential MBA, our in-person MBA program, and we put all of our resources into our online graduate programs. We didn't want our programs just to kind of be an online, we're just going to kind of throw it together. It was some deep thought into create these programs. And we have a very strong relationship with the big four accounting firms and other accounting firms. And so, our faculty leadership, connected with the, like an advisory board of professionals within the accounting field, and wanted to make sure that we put a rigorous program together that's online, right? Where the return of investment is immediate. And so, so that was something that was thought through tremendously. And so again, this was before the pandemic started with our iMSA program as well. And so it wasn't a program we just threw together because everyone had to go online. And so we invested millions of dollars in our infrastructure. We have over 200 faculty staff, teaching and learning staff, from curriculum designers to tech support. So there's a community of people who want to make sure that this program is, the experience is a quality experience for our students. And so just talk about the stackable build. Just want to touch on this for a quick second. With Gies online programs, again, we want to make sure that we're meeting the learners where they are, right? So we have a range of learners. And so from an age range, it can be from age 22 up to 72, right? It can be seasoned veterans, have been 25 years in one industry, want to maybe just do a career change or what have you. And it could be someone who is like a mid-career person. And so there's ways that you can stack, into the degree program. We have some students who will start off taking a free online course, our MOOCs, or massive open online courses through Coursera, who we partner with, right? And it's more kind of like at your own pace. You're just, looking at video, just familiarize yourself with a certain topic. And then you can add maybe a high engagement component, which is a University of Illinois course, to earn that credit. And then you can take that course and you can stack it into one of our graduate certificates. You can take that graduate certificate and stack it into one of our degree programs. With our iMSA program, you can actually, once you complete that program, you can stack that into our iMBA. And so once you finish your iMBA, you can graduate, you can have two master degree programs from Gies College of Business. So I just want to give you a visual of what this could look like. You don't have to necessarily start at the free online course. We have some students who will start off at the grad certificates just because, hey, I want to get it done in maybe 8 months or what have you. Some students may have the commitment to do a program that's maybe a year and a half, 2 years, or what have you. So it really depends on where you're at in the process. But the good thing is you can take a 4-credit course, right? Graduate course from Gies College of Business. And maybe a year down the line, you're ready to start a certificate or a grad degree program, and that course will still count towards credit, right? And so that's something you want to look at. We're looking at different institutions, with that course stack into a degree later on, right? So I can save you time and money. And then here's just a list of our graduate certificates that we do offer. We do have 3 specific to accounting. So accounting data analytics would become very popular. And then we have our foundations, and these are the foundations certificate is more for the student who is fairly new, right, in the accounting profession and want to get those foundational courses under their belt. And then we had the CPA pathways for folks who need the credit hours, and they just need that credit hour. And so they're looking to take these kind of a little bit more advanced courses. But there's other grad certificates, right, that you can take as well. And so there's a range. And so we have some folks who want to, maybe expand their skill set and want it from a global perspective, right? And so they look to enroll into global challenges in business. And so these certificates, again, they can stack into any of our 3 online degree programs. And so, so these are 12 hours transcripted credit, meaning that they will be on your transcript. And so, so you have you have some time to, if you wanted to stack into one of those degree programs. There's a brief application process as well. And so, so these are just a list of our programs. Anita, if you're here, let me know if you're here, because I would love to ask any questions. Let me see if you're here.
Hi, Marcus. Yes, I'm here. I'm going to start.
How you doing? All right, awesome. So we have Anita, who is a current student. So Anita, if you want to introduce yourself, let folks know where you're chiming in from, a little bit about your background, like how far are you in the program and why did you choose our program?
Definitely. Thank you, Marcus. So my name is Anita Kothari, and I am a very brand new student in iMSA, the accounting path. And my specialization would be the data analytics specialization. This is my first semester. I joined in January of 2024. So I'm going to give you a little background. I'm actually a career transition. I used to be a biology teacher earlier. Had a very long career in high school biology teaching. And then later on, I wanted to try my second passion, which is accounting. So I moved on to accounting, and I have been working as an accountant for Caterpillar for a few years now. I wanted to basically pivot my career into a higher management role. And this is when I decided to do an accounting master's degree. I actually shopped around, looked at various programs all over the country, actually got admitted into 6 different universities, all great universities, great programs. But when I looked at UIUC, Gies School of Business program, it was just uncomparable. I just found it to be one of the best out of everything, especially because of when I spoke to several members here, students as well as faculty. And what I learned was that there are the support system is basically uncomparable again. It is great. When we sign up for classes, there is a lot of advisory available where you can actually discuss what you want to do, and then actually choose what class would work best for your career path and for your schedule. There is no limitation as to you have to do 2 classes or 3 classes or 1 class. You can do it at your own pace because most of the students are actually working professionals. So that something stood out to me. Other than that, there is two paths built within the studies. You first are exposed to the course curriculum through Coursera. And then once you do the Coursera component of your course, it makes you you basically familiarizes you with all the difficult topics, and then you attend the faculty-led high engagement course. The high engagement course is also, it has a Canvas portion where you have got several assignments to do, and group projects and individual projects to take care of. So basically what I have felt in last 4 months of my experience is that Coursera really prepares you for the class. And then the class is interactive. It's not that the faculty are just giving lectures. It is highly interactive where we are all bringing in our experiences and our understanding, and we are enriching each other's understanding of the topic. And the course, every course has got individual as well as group projects. So several ways that you can actually demonstrate your understanding of the material. And because of this, I basically am very much enjoying, and I feel like this is one of the best programs that I could have been here. So definitely a very good and a very good experience so far for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Anita. That's a lot of great information. And we'll touch more and elaborate more on what you mentioned. And so it's always good to hear from our current students, right? And about their experience and why they chose our particular program. Just wanted to touch on some quick facts. Like I said, affordability is a big thing for Gies, right? Being a land grant institution. And so as you see, the total cost can range from a little bit over 20,000 to a little bit over 27,000 for tuition and fees. It can take 18 months to complete the program, but you have up to 5 years, right? So we try to be flexible with our students. We understand things happen in life. And so you may have to take a 8 weeks off or what have you. And so we try to be flexible and, like I said, the pace that fits your schedule and your needs. And then that flexibility extends to the start dates. And so we do offer 3 start dates throughout the year. And so the next start date will be in May. And then this one other slide, just regards to number. I talked about age just earlier. Our average age is 36. And so for the most part, we have, some seasoned folks within our program, right? And so, like Anita said, just transitioning. So it can be folks within the accounting field. It can be folks from variety of sectors that are in our programs, right? And so that's the beauty of our programs, is just the depth of perspectives that are in our program. And so not only from a work experience standpoint, but also from a geographic standpoint. And so for this particular program, we have 47 states and territories represented and 36 countries represented as well. And it's Anita was a biology teacher. Then we have folks who work for Fortune 500 companies, to small businesses. So we had a pilot, so just different folks. And again, it just enriches the learning experience with people from so many various backgrounds in this particular program. And then lastly, just wanted to just touch on some satisfaction numbers. And so it was good to hear Anita talk about people, speaking highly about the program. So I think that kind of ties into that 96% satisfaction rate with the program. As you can see, there's definitely been quite a few folks who've received job promotions or job offers or what have you. And then there's definitely been a pay increase while folks are in the program. And so just want to touch on the iMSA curriculum and content. And so this particular program really focuses on a core set of courses, right? So on the left-hand side, or on my left-hand side, there's a core curriculum, which consists of 5 different courses, right? So you're going to take that analysis 1 and 2, managerial, auditing, and federal taxation. But we do allow like the flexibility, right, to have 12 credit hours for your elective courses, right? And so, so there's a couple courses that you can kind of really focus in on. Anita, you kind of touched on analytics concentration within the program. Have you taken any of those courses yet?
Not yet, Marcus, but I'm going to be starting that from summer. So
Okay.
they do have some requisites. So summer is when I'm starting on the prereqs, and fall will be my first class for the data analytics.
Awesome. Do you feel, just thinking about the curriculum, can you talk a little bit about the return on investment? Do you feel like what you're learning, you can apply it to your current role or for some, a role in the future?
Absolutely. I mean, I cannot even emphasize how much it is helping me already. I'm taking 2 classes, managerial accounting, and I'm taking the accounting analysis 1. Both of them are hardcore accounting classes. And already, I mean, I would say that 4 weeks down in my program, and I was already feeling like I can contribute more, add more value to my company. Both my supervisor and my managers, they know about me pursuing this degree program. I have been invited to participate in projects which had not happened in so many years before. So I already feel that I am contributing more to my company, and I actually understand the business so much better now because of the course curriculum, and also because of the projects that we have been involved with. In the last, so 2 quarters are, 1 quarter for each of the courses are over, and we are in the 2nd quarter right now. We've already done 3 group assignments, group cases for each of the courses, and several of the individual assignments. These cases that we were working on, some of them are Harvard Business Review cases, very in-depth, very rigorous, and requires multiple dimensions in the analysis process. So once you do that, you just feel like you're bringing all the knowledge together and solving a real world problem. Doing that, I actually feel very confident, and I have been involved with a couple of new projects in my company now. Makes me feel very good, and I feel like I'm able to apply what I'm learning in class directly into a real world setting.
Awesome.
So
Thank you for
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And I'm actually hopeful about as we progress into the course, into my curriculum, I'm very hopeful about other good things happening in my career.
Great to hear. And so one thing I wanted to touch on as well is we get a lot of questions about the I that's in front of the iMSA, in front of iMBA, or in front of iMSM. And so basically it's just really our method of delivery only. So we refer to our degrees as I degrees. It's not on your transcript or your degree certificate. And you will get a diploma from the University of Illinois. It won't say online master's in accounting. It will say master's in accounting and from diploma from University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And so our professors, we do not contract our professors out to any third party. The content is from our professors, right? And the delivery of the material is from our professor, from Gies professor. So we get a lot of questions, rightfully so, because there's so many online programs out there. And so just wanted to provide this information. And so, Anita, do you mind just kind of talking about the asynchronous component and then a little bit about the high engagement component and how you've been able to like balance the two in your class?
Yeah, for sure. So the asynchronous portion is the Coursera component. So the basically the professors, they release the course components right a week before the class starts. The course starts basically, and then as you progress, you have to do that week of asynchronous learning through Coursera, and once you complete that, you go into the Canvas portion where we've got actually classes 2 times in a day. One is in the daytime and another one is the evening, basically catered towards people who are able to do it in the daytime or otherwise versus people who are working professionals and need to attend the classes in the evening. So for me, what has worked the best is I always complete the asynchronous learning through Coursera before attending the faculty-led class. So with that, I actually am already aware of what the new topic is. I am kind of have an idea and I'm able to participate better in the lecture, the faculty-led lecture. And the professors actually release their lecture slides beforehand in the Canvas. So there is a lot of things you can already start doing before you attend the first lecture in the class. And then during the lecture, there is opportunities where there is going to be pop quizzes, but apart from that, there is opportunity to engage with each and with students. There is it's a back and forth interactive communication. It is never where the professor is using a PowerPoint slide and everybody is just watching. It's never like that. It's always back and forth discussion and going into small breakout rooms where we all bring in our thoughts and our ideas and discussions, and then we bring it back and join the main classroom again after the breakout room sessions. And then we basically come together and discuss our ideas. So it is very, very enriching for me. I've absolutely enjoyed it. Most of the time I try to participate in the evening because of my work and work engagements in the daytime. But sometimes if I have been able to participate in the morning and if I participate again in the evening, I feel like it's never a redundant. It's always the discussion is so enriching because there are different students involved. So you basically are able to listen to the thought process from so many other students. So many times I've actually attended 2 lectures in a day and I've enjoyed them thoroughly. So, and then after the lecture, there are assignments and different assessments that we need to take care of every week. And it is actually multi-dimensional. It could be case, like I mentioned, case analysis. It could also be where you are doing CPA, CMA, question bank, questions on the as an assessment. There are practice problems, there are homework problems, and whatnot. So there are several methods that you can demonstrate your understanding of the course content. So, and then faculty are always available. They already have in Canvas their office hours, but if you are not able to make time for those set scheduled office hours, the professors are very open to you emailing them and then taking up an appointment and meeting with them to understand if you are getting stuck at any of the assignments or any of the course content. So I feel like the help provided is extreme. It's very helpful and very the entire process is very supportive. And I also wanted to mention one more thing. There is a platform, workplace platform, which is a community of learners, faculty, alumni, the current students. So if you are stuck at any course related question, you just have to post it there and you're going to get multiple answers from several different people. But not only course related, if you are any question in case of career, or in case of what kind of course that you should be taking for the next semester, or so many other options, we'll be talking, I'm sure we're going to be talking about iConverge and immersion and those kind of activities. So any question related, you can just post it in the workplace community, and you're going to get more answers than you can ever imagine. So I feel like it's a very supportive community, and something that people are helping you grow and learn, and just progress, I would say.
Awesome. That's a perfect segue into the next part of our program. And so it's the presentation. So the engagement component, right? So I touched on, and Anita touched a lot on the classroom and how to engage, within the classroom as a student, which, obviously is very critical and very important, like in this learning environment, right? But we understand this is an online degree program. And so we really try hard to make sure that you're not just kind of out there on this island by yourself, right? I mean, obviously you have to put some effort into it, right? To make these connections that Anita was talking about. But we try to make sure that you are a part of a community of learners at Gies. So for our online programs. And so how do you connect in a virtual environment? And so these could be some critical questions you can ask, looking at different programs. And for Gies, and this includes the iMSA program, there are Gies-led opportunities, which are iConnect, Immersions, iConverge, and then there's student-led opportunities as well. And as you can see, they are listed, and Anita kind of touched on some of those. So we can talk a little bit more about these opportunities within the program. And Anita, have you, before I get started, have you, engaged? I know you just started the program. Have you engaged in any of the student-led or Gies-led networking opportunities?
Not yet. I'm actually registered for the iConverge that's happening in September. So I registered there and booked my hotel room, and I'm all set to attend. Very excited about it. The immersion program, I was actually looking forward. I was very excited about when they announced the summer immersion program, the Singapore and Malaysia the opportunity. I was really excited. But the thing is, I'm so new in the program. So it's always better to take a few classes and become a little bit more advanced in the program to be able to do justice when you go out there, because at that time you are going to be working in direct contact with the companies. You're going to be solving cases and real world problems and making presentation as a Gies student over there. So as much as I wanted to go for the Malaysia and Singapore immersion, I want to wait it out and probably do it next fall or next summer maybe, so that I can actually add more value to those experiences.
Yes,
But
that's
yeah, but whoever I have spoken to, they have all told me that don't miss the opportunity. You should go there. And it is just life-changing is what they have told me. So I'm looking forward to one of those experiences going forward.
Oh, yes. And so we have these emerging opportunities both domestically and internationally. There is an additional cost for these emerging opportunities outside of the tuition, and they can range, from several $100s to like maybe several thousand based on where you're going, like Malaysia, Singapore. We had one in Brazil, Mexico City, Seattle, like you see on the screen. And this is a great way to obviously connect, with your peers in person, but to really learn about the business culture and community in that particular location. And so you kind of dive into like a live project for a company or companies and do like a case study competition, which I heard is really intense but really fun at the same time, right? You get to pitch, your solutions in front of these executives of these different corporations or companies. So obviously a great learning experience. And we try to also provide like an iConnect event alongside these immersions. And so typically it's like an alumni or someone from leadership that will kind of be like guest speaker. And then there's like dinner and networking opportunities, right? And so just again, a great way to try to make those connections. And I attended one, not as a student, but as a staff last year in Houston, Texas. And it was an awesome event. And again, this is good just to connect and connect with folks within the program. And so, yeah, so we had the immersion opportunities as well. And so the one big event that we talk about a lot is iConverge. And so Anita signed up. I attended for the last 2 years as a staff member, and it's awesome. Last year had over 500 students and alumni attend. So the cool thing about this event, and where we create community is, we have several of our alumni who will come back. Maybe they didn't have the opportunity to attend iConverge while they were a student, but they were grateful that, hey, we can actually come back and still stay connected as alumni, right? And so there's no limit on how many iConverge events you can attend. And we have had several alumni who have attended, 4 or 5, because it's just a great way, again, to just network and just connect, and as you see the picture in the screen, they're in a studio. And so they get a chance to get the behind the scenes of, how do our professors, doing this behind the scenes and so forth. And so it's an interactive, really engaging professional development opportunity. We have several guest speakers that will come in and provide these workshops as well. And then we have like the social aspect of it as well. And then on Saturday, typically there's a football game. And so for some of our learners that never experienced football in the US, and this is a great, time to just, again, bond and connect or what have you. So it's a great experience, I feel, for our students. I heard nothing but positive things. Anita, you touched on workplace as well. Um, is there anything else you wanted to add about workplace? It's pretty easy to get involved, and when you first start, you can kind of introduce yourself on workplace. Is that kind of how you did it?
Yeah, and I actually joined the iMSA group. So they've got, I was very lucky actually to see that there was a new group coming up, iMSA Spring to 2024. So I joined there, and most of the students were new, just like me, because they were the new joinees in the spring program. So we connected very well. And then there are so many groups. I am a part of the iConverge community in workplace. I am a part of women in business community. And then there is another business community and IMBA community, which I'm also part of. And then there are groups where they talk about what would be the right course for you, what would be the right sequence of courses for you. And students and alumni have actually done so much work in the past where they have taken up courses and made combinations about which course is going to work best with another combination, because you really cannot take two really hard courses, or if you take two really easy courses, then you might feel like your time is not you're not getting challenged enough, or you're not using your time in the best possible way. So students have done work where they have color coded a very difficult course as red, and then there it goes all the way from orange and yellow and green and whatnot. And then they're there to guide you about what combination of courses can you take to make your career path the smoothest, what can work with your schedule, and what can work for your whatever you are aiming for. So I'm a part of one of those groups. So I say that. And then actually I also started one group where in this accounting course that I'm taking, I actually started one where we have so many students talking about discussing our coursework and discussing about what is the best way to crack a case or whatnot. So basically, the students coming together and helping each other, enriching each other's experience. There are so many different groups that you can be part of, and you can actually come up and you can start something new if you feel like this is not meeting your requirement, and then students come and join that. So I feel like it's a very good platform where we can network and help each other, enrich each other's experiences.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And then one thing I just wanted to mention really quick is our student meetups. And so, like Anita mentioned, she started a group. It's pretty easy to really start a group or just get connected in some form or fashion. And so, so our student meetups, like these are students who are kind of organically just create these meetups in different locations throughout the US and different world. Our faculty are awesome. Our faculty, if they're traveling to a certain country or a certain location and they're going to be there for a couple of days, they are willing to meet with students, have these meetups, these informal meetups in these locations. And our students love it because, a student may be in Greece and like, hey, we may not be able to get to Greece for like a formal Gies type of program, but a faculty member may be there and maybe some other students. And I've been to a couple of meetups, and it's pretty cool to see students who are in the same location didn't even know each other existed, right? But when they came to the meetup, they met, they exchanged numbers, and now they have a connection. And so if they wanted to connect with someone in person, they can just set it up on their own, right? And so we have pretty highly engaged students that do that. And we have different organizations. Like we have like the DC chapter, for example. There's like a group of students in that area that will just have meetups and so forth. And it varies, right? The numbers vary based on how many students are in certain location. But just wanted to give you some examples of where where students hosted meetups as well. And so I need to touch a little bit on, supporting each other, as learners, within the program. And we also have support, even outside of faculty and outside of, each other when it comes to like degree planning, advising and so forth. So we have a team, a professional advisor, a student and academic success team. And so, again, we try to add that flexibility there. So say if life happens and you need to take like 8 weeks off for some reason, you have someone that you can kind of lean on to have an idea of how long it would take you maybe to finish the program, what courses I need to take. They try to advise students like, okay, we know you don't have like a strong math background, so maybe not take 2 quantitative courses like your first 8 weeks or what have you, if you've been out of school for a long period of time. So they provide some a really good advice and help you kind of understand the different policies or what have you. And so they're able to provide email support if you just have like a general question, or open office hours if you wanted just to go in and say, hey, I have a quick question. But if you need more of like a more in-depth question or more in-depth conversation, they do offer one-on-one appointments as well. So again, we try to make sure that you're not kind of left out there on your own in that island. So Anita, have you taken advantage of a student academic success team as of yet with support or anything like that?
Yes, I have actually taken appointments with my advisor a few times already in the last previous quarter and this quarter, where we have actually completely made a degree plan for myself all the way until the end of the second and maybe even the starting of the third year, actually. So I know exactly what I'm doing in the spring of 2025 and the fall of 2025. So all laid out for me. And then if things change, like for example, I did want to change. I recently completed my CMA certification, and I wanted to. I got my certificate. I need to maintain that. Do some CPE courses. So ethics was something that I wanted to take, and it was not in my degree plan until 2025. So I met up with my advisor, and we discussed, and we kind of talked about how we can move things around and how I can bring that ethics class in the summer. And I will be taking that ethics class along with a business modeling class in summer, in summer 2024. So there is a lot of opportunity for that. Advisors are available with appointment. They're there to guide you. Professors are available by appointment, and you can take appointments with them and discuss with them what is your need and how you can what courses can you take to move forward in your career path. So a lot of help is available. And other than that, yes, when you bring this, Marcus, when you bring this screen topic on the screen, I actually have utilized the Slack and Handshake portion of those resources. I have gotten my resume read by people and gotten great input on that. Looking for job or moving higher up in your career path is something that you have a lot of help available, a lot of guidance available here. So I basically feel right now I feel is only time is my constraint. Otherwise, there is any resources that I would want to is actually all available here. And if I can just manage my time and be able to utilize them, I can just I can basically do a lot. So yeah, a lot of help available that way.
And so we have a lot of, yes, a lot of help. And that's good to hear. And I'm glad, and it's great that we have you here, Anita, to hear from our current students. But I think it adds a little bit more validity, right, to our programs, because she's going through it right now and she can talk about her experience. And so kind of segue into the next question in regards to the application. Another big, resume, prereqs. I touch pretty much everything on here in regards to the application process. So let's look at the application. So yes, the resume. And so my tip for the resume, and I know again, we have folks who have 10 years work experience, you have folks maybe applied with 18, 20 years of work experience. Um, Quite honestly, you don't have to worry about having a 5, 6, 7 page resume or a CV or what have you. Maybe 1 or 2 pages, some general information, and really just probably the most current um, work history, as long as that information just kind of aligns with you put on the application. And so, maybe the last, 5 years or so, like work history. And of course that varies, but you don't have to worry about trying to have a 5 or 6 page resume on your application. And so you can really condense that information down. You don't need bullet points. If you've been working in the industry for 20 years, you don't need bullet points for all your jobs. Like I said, the most relevant will be fine. And so your academic history, and we want all your transcripts, right? And again, when you apply, you can submit like unofficial transcripts. Eventually, we'll need your official ones. But if you've taken courses abroad or what have you, we need those mark sheets, and make sure those mark sheets are in English. And so, then our reviewers can be able to review those as soon as they receive them, right? And there's an academic statement, and there's a short answer, personal statements. Our grad college is requiring this information as well. It's really just a time for you to kind of sell yourself on paper, right? Just really tell us, why you'd be a good fit for the program. What are you looking to learn from the program? What can you contribute, right, to the program? And then there's 2 recommendation forms. So basically, with this part, you just give us 2 names, their email address of people you feel will be great recommenders for you. We'll send a form to those people. They'll fill it out. There is an option for the recommenders to write a letter of recommendation. That's not required, but it's optional. And so that's another part of the application requirement. There are some scores, right, that are required for international applicants only, right? And so, if you're an international student, there may be test scores required. However, there is a waiver essay that you can submit, right, to say why you feel that you don't need to take one of these exams. There's also there's a link to a web page that has a ton of information about being exempt from taking one of these exams. And so there are some lists of countries that we have an agreement with. If you've been working in these countries or what have you, you can be exempt. Or if you've been in the U.S. for a certain period of time, or if you completed a degree at a U.S. institution. So there's various ways that you can, be exempt from the international requirements. And Maria, if you're able to find that link, can you provide that in the chat? And it's a great source of information. The great thing too is no GRE or GMAT required, right? But as students, if you've taken a GRE or GMAT and you feel like, I have a really awesome score, feel free to send that information. That's just another data point that we use in the application review process. And we do a holistic review. So we're taking all this information and looking through your profile. I know someone mentioned about scholarships and funding. There's a scholarship essay that is required. You have to submit this essay at the time of the application. Okay. And so we do offer, a small number of scholarships. We partner with Coursera, there's an online platform that offer a small number of scholarships that will cover like 70% of the cost of the program. Highly competitive program, but that helps to offset the cost for people who really just can feel like they can't afford our current costs. And so there's a holistic approach to it as well. We're going to look at need. We're going to look at ability, right? And so there are several factors, that's kind of in conjunction with your application that we're going to review for the scholarship. There's a performance-based admission track. So there's 3 ways. So number 1, you can admit it directly into the program. Number 2, you can get denied admission to the program. Number three, there's what we call performance-based admission track. So the admission review committee will look at an application and say, hey, you know what? I think they have potential, but let's have them start in this, taking like one course at a time. And if you take, there's a number of courses you take, and if you earn like a B or higher in those courses, you have a 3.0 GPA, then you'll be automatically be admitted directly into the program, and you won't lose any time. Those courses will count towards the degree. So those are the application requirements. It's pretty straightforward application. And again, we have some awesome folks like Maria. If you have questions, even after this webinar, you can reach out to our office and be happy to answer those questions. And then just quickly, I mean, it takes a couple of weeks for the evaluation period after the application is complete. We have an awesome team of folks who will review your application. Just make sure we have all completed materials. And once all materials are completed, then you will be sent an email to schedule an interview with myself or some of my colleagues. And of course, we love it because we're on the end of asking questions. But it's just a great opportunity for us to meet prospective or potential learners in our program. And it's about a 15 to 20-minute interview. It's really getting to know you as a person, right? See how you engage, virtually. Just another way just to kind of let us know, your unique contributions, what you can bring to the program, right? And so, you may be asked 3 or 4 questions, about overcoming adversity. How do you work in a group setting? Things of that nature. And so that's the last part. And once you complete the interview, you'll probably hear back from us within 2 weeks of the interview in regards to an admission decision. So just wanted to share that. And then lastly, let me see if I can, the application. And so to start in August, to take advantage of the scholarship opportunity, you have to apply by May 2nd. So I wanted to throw that out there. There's no application fee, early access to networking platforms, to Coursera that, Anita mentioned. And again, scholarship consideration, priority registration. All this information is on our website, but I just wanted to just bring this to your attention. And so, so if you're looking to not pay a fee or to apply for a scholarship, definitely get that in by May 2nd. And then again, just, the quality that we bring, the alumni network, flexibility, affordability, our course structure, all that I think contributes to a really high quality program. And again, if you have questions about our programs, here's our email, our phone number as well. I'm going to stop sharing. I want to thank Anita and Maria for being here. I know we may have some questions, but we do have to run because we have another webinar at 5:00. But I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for those awesome questions. Anita, thank you for imparting your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience on iMSA program. Really grateful. And Maria, thank you for answering those questions. Well,
Thank you, Marcus.
you're welcome. Again, thank you all. Take care. If you do have questions, just reach out to us. And so take care, everyone.